Daewon Nation, a land distinct from Jianyang Nation, martial arts reigned supreme. Mortals acknowledged the presence of alchemists, with affluent parents affirming their children's exceptional physical attributes. Ordinary individuals without remarkable physique pursued martial arts for personal improvement. The dream of attaining immortality was widespread, as people aspired to transcend their mortal limitations through martial prowess and alchemical knowledge in the vibrant realm of Daewon Nation. Yona remarked on the distinct atmosphere of Daewon Nation compared to Jianyang Nation. Theo also noted the unusual sight of alchemists and mortals coexisting seamlessly in this new land. Intrigued by the dynamics of this society, Theo pondered the presence of an alchemist equivalent to the emperor in the mortal world, questioning if there was an alchemist leader just like an emperor within Daewon Nation. Yona shared her understanding that in Daewon Nation, there existed a lord but not an emperor. She mentioned that an alchemist lord held the power to influence the worldly government as desired. Curious about gathering more information, Yona proposed seeking insights from the gathered alchemists present in their new surroundings. Agreeing with Yona's suggestion, Theo acknowledged the value of learning more from the alchemists gathered in Daewon Nation. Theo called out to a young boy servant, inviting him over for a moment. The boy responded politely, asking if he could be of assistance. Theo observed that the boy was already at Dan development, indicating that he must be a boy carrying Niden, a significant achievement in alchemist practices. Theo gave the boy a spirit stone in hand, seeking information about the largest marketplace in the area. The boy eagerly shared his knowledge, explaining that goods were traded in bulk at Hyeonmu Avenue by the North Gate, while valuables could be exchanged at Jujak Avenue by the South Gate. He also mentioned the Long Life Store as a place where one could find a wide array of items. Before he could continue, the boy appeared to have more details to share. The boy leaned in to whisper a secret to Theo, revealing that secret trade fairs were occasionally organized to exchange highly valuable items. He mentioned that these fairs were exclusive, with only invited individuals permitted to attend. Grateful for the information shared by the boy, Theo thanked him and dismissed him. Theo expressed his intention to visit the Long Life Store, inviting Yona to accompany him. However, Yona mentioned that she had yet to inspect the pouch of abundance of the Dauntless sect and opted to stay in her room to examine its contents. Theo realized that with only 2 items in the pouch, Yona must have already inspected its contents. He surmised that her delay in joining him was likely due to lingering emotions from her father's passing, understanding her need for space and time to process her feelings. Respecting Yona's space, Theo decided to proceed to the Long Life Store alone, assuring her to take her time examining the items. Despite her emotional state, Theo acknowledged Yona as his savior and resolved to support her to the best of his ability, showing empathy and a desire to care for her during this challenging time. As Baron, Theo mused about the grandeur of the Long Life Store, likening it to a palace of worldly treasures. He noted that the stores in this establishment surpassed those in Choksan district in terms of opulence and variety. Anticipating a significant purchase, Theo decided that it would be safe to conceal his appearance. Theo expressed his intention to purchase sacred herbs to the merchant. The merchant assured Theo that he had come to the right place for such items and kindly offered him a seat to begin their transaction. Theo graciously thanked the merchant as he settled in, signaling the start of their discussion and the procurement of the sacred herbs Theo sought. Theo specified his search for domesticated ginseng, light grass, cedar, and adumbra to the merchant. The merchant acknowledged the rarity and high value of these sacred herbs, noting that they were not easily acquired. However, he reassured Theo that they did have domesticated ginseng, light grass, and cedar available in their inventory, indicating the presence of the majority of the herbs on Theo's list at the store. Theo was relieved to find that the store had at least some of the sacred herbs he was seeking, considering it a fortunate discovery. However, he expressed disappointment that the merchant did not have adumbra available. Curious about the prices of the available herbs, Theo inquired about the cost. The merchant indicated that he had the prices written down and was prepared to provide Theo with the pricing details for the herbs that were in stock. Theo placed a pouch filled with spirit stones on the counter as payment for the sacred herbs he intended to purchase. The merchant, pleased with the transaction, instructed his servant to bring a cup of sacred tea for Theo while they prepared the herbs for him. Assuring Theo of the imminent retrieval of the purchased sacred herbs, the merchant requested a moment of patience as they finalized the transaction and readied the herbs for Theo to take with him. After a brief wait, the merchant returned with the sacred herbs that Theo had purchased. Grateful for the transaction, The merchant expressed his appreciation and satisfaction with the exchange, ensuring that Theo had obtained the necessary sacred herbs. In a gesture of goodwill, the merchant extended an invitation for Theo to visit their store again in the future, promising to escort him to a pleasant room upstairs during his next visit. Theo accepted the offer graciously. The merchant cleared his throat before cautioning Theo about the availability of Adumbra in other stores, implying that seeking this particular sacred herb elsewhere would be futile. He emphasized that Theo's successful purchase of 3 sacred herbs was attributed to buying them from their store specifically. Theo, sensing a hidden motive behind the merchant's warning, acknowledged the significance of this information and suspected that there was a deeper reason behind the merchant's revelation. The merchant revealed to Theo that there was a way to obtain Adumbra in their realm, through the secret trade fair. This revelation sparked intrigue in Theo's mind. Considering the exclusivity of the secret trade fair, Theo recalled that attendance was by invitation only. The merchant confirmed this, mentioning that an invitation could be secured by possessing more than 1,000 middle-class spirit stones. Theo was taken aback by the substantial amount required for an invitation, realizing the significant investment needed to access the secrets and offerings of the trade fair. Theo considered his ample wealth from Baron, realizing that acquiring 1,000 middle-class spirit stones for the secret trade fair wouldn't pose a financial challenge. However, he couldn't shake off a sense of suspicion surrounding the situation. The merchant reassured Theo that his intentions were purely to offer assistance and maintain a positive relationship, emphasizing that he wasn't seeking any rewards in return. The merchant promised to provide Theo with the details regarding the time and location of the secret trade fair, extending an invitation for Theo to attend if he wished, while also granting him the option to disregard the information entirely. 5 days later, Theo mentally prepared himself for the upcoming secret trade fair, ensuring he had disposed of unnecessary items and collected as many spirit stones as possible. His primary objective was to secure Adumbra from the trade fair. A masked woman suddenly appeared before Theo, expressing gratitude for his presence at the trade fair. She provided him with a mask to wear and requested his company to explain the rules and protocols of the trade fair. The masked woman explained that a small commission fee would be required for any purchases made, emphasizing that no fee was needed if no transactions occurred. Each transaction would take place through auctions, with participating alchemists having the chance to sell their items in rotation. Furthermore, the masked woman clarified that if Theo needed items beyond spirit stones, the opportunity would be extended to other alchemists present at the fair. Concluding her instructions, she expressed hopes for Theo to engage in profitable transactions. Theo, surveying the surroundings at the trade fair, noted the unusual presence of food cooked by fire, a sight that caught his attention. He pondered whether alchemists from the Breath of the Sun sect were in attendance at the fair. He recalled the significant impact a Breath of the Sun alchemist had in Yangzhou. Theo marveled at the fact that a Breath of the Sun alchemist was participating in the trade fair shortly after his arrival in Daewon Nation. The auctioneer announced the commencement of the trade fair due to the presence of a specific number of attendees. Introducing the first item up for sale, a lowest-ranked talisman known as the Blue Jade Ring, the auctioneer highlighted its beneficial attribute of accelerating the recovery of spiritual energy. The auctioneer explained that if there were any items deemed worthy of exchanging for the Blue Jade Ring, negotiations would be considered. However, in the absence of such offers, the starting price for the auction would be set at 10 low-class spirit stones. Theo was surprised at the offering of a talisman right at the beginning of the auction, recognizing the significance of talismans which typically held a higher level than Dharma tools. Reflecting on his own experience with talismans, such as his meteorite ring, Theo recalled that the masters had advised him that its full potential would only be unlocked once he reached the Breath of the Sun stage due to the required spiritual energy levels. Acknowledging the benefits of a talisman in aiding the recovery of spiritual energy, Theo recognized the value of the Blue Jade Ring being auctioned. Despite his desire to acquire it, Theo felt conflicted about making a bid. The auctioneer concluded the auction for the Blue Jade Ring, selling it for 17 low-class spirit stones. Moving swiftly to the next item, the auctioneer presented a rare and ancient sacred herb, followed by an egg from a magical beast and a Dan pill tailored for the enhancement of the law of spirit energy in alchemists. Continuing the auction, the auctioneer introduced an item infused with the nidin of a low-class magical beast, showcasing a diverse array of valuable and intriguing offerings available for bidding at the trade fair. Theo presented the essence of the shadow orchid, highlighting its unique properties to the attendees. He explained that fiends detested the scent of the shadow orchid, emphasizing that even a small amount of the concentrated essence could deter fiends from approaching. Theo positioned the shadow orchid essence as a potent defense against fiends, offering it as a potential savior in threatening situations. Expressing his intent to trade the essence of the shadow orchid for 1 bottle of Adumbra, Theo made it clear that he was not seeking spirit stones in exchange. The masked woman at the auction acknowledged the presence of breath of the sun alchemists, recognizing the unique and intriguing nature of the essence of the shadow orchid presented by Theo. She admitted the challenge in assigning a value to such a distinctive product, given its specialized properties and capabilities. Expressing her curiosity, the masked woman wondered if there were alchemists among the attendees who specialized in hunting fiends or had encountered fiends firsthand. She suggested that the value of the shadow orchid essence might have been better appreciated if a higher-level alchemist with relevant experience or expertise in dealing with fiends had been present at the auction. Theo considered if there were any other items he could offer in exchange for Adumbra besides the shadow orchid essence. Just when he was uncertain about his trade prospects, a masked man raised his hand, expressing interest in acquiring the shadow orchid essence. Feeling relieved by this sudden opportunity, Theo realized he might be able to obtain Adumbra after all. However, before Theo could finalize the trade, the masked man interjected with a condition. Theo contemplated the masked man's condition. The masked man requested a private conversation outside before finalizing the trade, prompting Theo to consider the implications of such a meeting. Realizing that conversing outside would likely entail revealing their identities to each other, Theo felt uneasy about the situation. Theo, feeling hesitant about the masked man's condition, decided to seek alternative trade options openly in the auction. He inquired if there was anyone else present who was interested in exchanging Adumbra for the shadow orchid essence, hoping to explore additional possibilities beyond the masked man's offer. As Theo awaited responses from the attendees, he internally expressed frustration at the limited interest shown thus far, wishing for alternative opportunities to secure the Adumbra he sought without having to navigate potentially risky or uncertain conditions set by a single individual. The masked man confirmed his decision to proceed with the trade for the shadow orchid essence after the conclusion of the trade fair. He extended an invitation for Theo to meet him at the Poacher Inn once the event had ended. At the Poacher Inn with the masked man, now known as Bruce, Theo inquired about the reason for their meeting at the inn. Bruce responded by mentioning that there was something he wished to discuss, prompting curiosity in Theo's mind about the nature of this conversation. Observing Bruce, Theo noted his seemingly ordinary appearance contrasted with a powerful aura he emanated. Speculating on Bruce's level of expertise, Theo wondered if Bruce operated at around the middle level of the law of spirit energy. Bruce remarked on the rarity and obscurity of the item, noting that very few individuals possessed knowledge about the shadow orchid and its essence. Bruce questioned Theo about how he came to possess such a unique and elusive item. In response to Bruce's inquiry, Theo questioned the necessity of divulging such details. Sensing Theo's hesitation, Bruce quickly assured him that he need not share any information he was uncomfortable disclosing. Bruce proposed a deal but swiftly attempted to harm Theo with a dagger. Theo dodged the attack and swiftly flew away from the inn. Bruce, frustrated by Theo's evasion, expressed surprise at Theo's ability to thwart his ambush, underestimating Theo's skill at heavenly birth level. Bruce strategized his next move on how to locate Theo's actual body through a decisive attack. However, he weighed the potential consequences of drawing too much attention and risking a wanted order from the Lord of Yeang Province. Despite the potential risks, Bruce was determined to eliminate Theo permanently when they crossed paths again, confident in his ability to recognize Theo and exact his revenge in the future. Theo, at the inn, reflected on recent events, grateful for utilizing the face-changing skill as a precaution. He pondered the moment when things took a turn for the worse, questioning if it was part of a scheme involving Bruce and the elder merchant to steal his pouch of abundance. However, Theo reasoned that if Bruce and the elder merchant were truly collaborators, the encounter would have escalated beyond a mere dagger attack. Theo acknowledged his lack of information and reflected on his naivety in accepting Bruce's suggestion to conduct the deal outside. Despite realizing his mistake, Theo recognized that his need for Adumbra had driven him to agree to the meeting conditions. Convinced that Bruce possessed Adumbra, Theo resolved to find a way to obtain it at all costs. Determined to navigate the situation and acquire the herb, Theo prepared to strategize and pursue his goal with unwavering determination. Theo wondered if it was already dawn, signaling the start of a new day. Upon realizing the time, Theo invited the boy servant inside. The boy inquired about Theo's rest and kindly offered sacred tea and snacks. Expressing gratitude, Theo mentioned that he had slept well, appreciating the boy servant's timely arrival with refreshments. Theo, curious about the boy's background, offered a spirit stone as a token of appreciation for the conversation. He inquired if the boy had lived in the area his whole life. The boy responded affirmatively, sharing that he had resided in Huijing since birth and had never ventured beyond the province's borders. Theo asked the boy if he was aware of a notorious robber who targeted alchemists at secluded inns or tea houses. The robber was known to swiftly end their lives with a dagger or a short blade in a single strike. The boy's face displayed fear upon hearing about this menacing criminal activity, signaling the gravity of the situation and the potential danger posed by the ruthless robber. Theo pressed the boy for information about the elusive robber, urging him to reveal details such as the robber's name, typical attire, active areas, and distinctive characteristics. In response, the boy disclosed that the notorious criminal was known as the Faceless Killer. This mysterious figure, with a formidable skill level, specifically targeted foreign alchemists. The boy explained that the elders feigned interest in capturing the robber but refrained from earnest attempts, likely due to the dangerous nature of the criminal's activities. Theo pondered the fact that the notorious Faceless Killer had a well-known nickname, yet at the secret trade fair, people were cautious and hesitant to engage in dealings related to him. Despite the urgency and awareness of the criminal's presence, striking a deal seemed challenging in that environment. Seeking further information, Theo asked the boy if he knew anything else. The boy suggested approaching the Exian sect for more details, mentioning that they were knowledgeable about various information. However, the boy noted that the Exian sect often faced criticism for requesting a high number of spirit stones in exchange for their services. Theo was surprised to discover that the Exian sect, an intelligence organization, operated openly in business rather than in secrecy. Approaching a guard, Theo expressed his intention to purchase information from the Exian sect. Reflecting on this decision, Theo speculated that the Exian sect's visibility in the business realm indicated their significant size and influence, raising his expectations for obtaining valuable intelligence from this prominent organization. Theo was approached by an old woman who inquired about the information he sought, specifically regarding the Faceless Killer. Theo shared his request, prompting the old woman to offer to escort him inside the Exian sect's premises. As they proceeded, Theo contemplated the secrecy of the organization, noting the passage through multiple doors and the absence of chi energy, indicating robust defensive measures in place. This observation heightened Theo's curiosity about the inner workings and security protocols of the Exian sect, underscoring the level of confidentiality and protection within their secretive domain. The old woman informed her superior about the guest's arrival and was instructed to guide him inside. Theo entered the room and was startled to see his reflection resembling himself. The woman then politely asked Theo to take a seat. Theo noticed the woman's unique blue hair color and speculated that she had mastered a distinctive form of Qigong, a traditional practice involving movement and meditation. The woman introduced herself as Iris, the leader of the Huijing branch of the sect. Theo responded, identifying himself as Luke. Theo noticed the drowsy scent permeating the room and attributed his immunity to its effects to the black ice chant. Iris inquired if Theo was seeking information about the Faceless Killer. Theo confirmed his interest in obtaining intelligence on the subject. Iris then explained that she would disclose the price of the information once Theo specified his requirements. She clarified that she only accepted spirit stones as payment, not items, and requested Theo's understanding regarding this payment method. Theo expressed his straightforward request to Iris, seeking to know if there would be someone to avenge the Faceless Killer after his demise. He also wanted to learn the identity of this potential avenger and their skill level. Iris stated that this information would require 5 high-class spirit stones as payment. Iris revealed that there was no one set to avenge the Faceless Killer upon his death, since he operated independently without any sect, family, or friends. She reiterated that the information would require 5 high-class spirit stones as payment. Theo expressed his interest in learning more about the killer's life. Theo acknowledged the sector's reputation for requesting a substantial number of spirit stones, reflecting on the rumored high cost associated with acquiring such valuable intel. Theo provided numerous spirit stones as payment for the information. Iris began to recount the history of the Faceless Killer, stating that he became well known after reaching the law of spirit energy level. Over 100 years ago, there was an incident involving a family's treasure in the province, during which the killer murdered several alchemists. Since that event, the faceless killer has been traveling to various cities, targeting alchemists and taking their pouches of abundance after committing the heinous acts. Iris explained that the faceless killer was careful in his selection of targets, focusing on alchemists a few levels below him and those without established backgrounds. He operated with precision, completing his tasks efficiently and escaping unscathed. It had been 3 years since his arrival in Huijing. Theo contemplated his own situation, realizing that as a wandering alchemist, he had concealed his true level, only appearing to be at the heavenly birth stage. This realization made him consider himself a prime target for the meticulous and dangerous faceless killer. Iris noted that since the faceless killer arrived in Huijing, the frequency of his disruptive activities had been decreasing. She speculated whether his shift in behavior indicated a loss of caution. Iris even considered questioning if the killer suddenly required more spirit stones for some reason. Upon Theo's inquiry about the killer's behavior during murders, Iris acknowledged the high value of such information. Despite the significant expenditure Theo had made, she agreed to provide this precious intel for a fee of only 10 high-class spirit stones. Theo expressed his admiration for Iris's reputation, recognizing her as the sect's rumored formidable figure. Theo reflected on how the faceless killer executed his targets using an unremarkable dagger or their own weapons, a tactic aimed at avoiding leaving identifiable traces behind. Additionally, Iris continued by indicating that upon the killer's demise becoming public knowledge, Theo should return to the Xian sect. Considering a hypothetical situation, Theo inquired about the course of action if someone visited the Xian sect seeking information on the killer's death. Iris explained that the Xian sect functioned as an intelligence organization that traded information for a price. Theo acknowledged this and emphasized that even if someone sought details about whether the potential targets of the faceless killer had backup or not, Iris would disclose everything if they paid with spirit stones. Theo dedicated 15 days to gather the necessary sacred herbs, a task that required time and effort. In exchange for 100 high-class spirit stones, he acquired a fireplace and a red jade pot capable of holding the true samadhi fire. With these items in hand, Theo planned to create something significant and use it to deal with a particular matter. Driven by determination, Theo expressed the urgency of obtaining Adumbra, emphasizing the importance of acquiring it at any cost. The servant boy inquired about Theo's recent endeavors, noting that it had only been 2 months since they last spoke. Theo expressed gratitude for the boy's helpful advice, indicating that everything had been completed smoothly without any obstacles. Shifting the conversation, Theo inquired about senior sister Yona's well-being. The boy, referring to Yona as the pretty sister, cryptically responded that if something had occurred, it had happened, and if nothing had transpired, then it simply hadn't. Amused by the boy's response, Theo playfully chided him for speaking like an adult despite his young age. Theo shifted the focus from significant events to smaller incidents, inquiring if any minor occurrences had taken place. The boy confirmed that indeed a few small incidents had occurred involving senior sister Yona. Despite her appearance not resembling that of an alchemist, some individuals attempted to make advances towards her. In one particular incident, an irritating man instigated a confrontation with Yona, questioning her presence in an inn frequented by alchemists and attempting to remove her forcefully. Yona responded by creating a blue orb on her palms, causing the man to flee in shock due to the unexpected display of power. Theo observed that people seemed unaware of Yona's power due to her eyes. He asked the boy if any developments had occurred following the previous incident. The boy confirmed that Yona had become reclusive, rarely leaving her room since the altercation. Furthermore, the boy mentioned that Yona had taken to covering her face with a black cotton fabric. However, this choice of concealment did not appear to be a favorable decision to hide her identity. The boy recounted an incident where a guest wearing cotton fabric at the inn attracted even more attention, highlighting how such a choice could paradoxically draw focus. Theo acknowledged this information and requested to be informed when Yona emerged from her room. Expressing his curiosity, Theo inquired about any updates regarding the faceless killer potentially targeting another individual. This query underscored Theo's ongoing interest in monitoring developments related to the notorious killer's activities and any potential threats within their environment. The boy discreetly shared with Theo that more deaths had occurred in the meantime, with a total of 5 individuals falling victim to these tragic events. The increased number of casualties sparked rumors suggesting that someone might be orchestrating murders and falsely attributing them to the faceless killer. Furthermore, the victims were all alchemists of heavenly birth level or higher, adding to the gravity of the situation. Alarmingly, one of the victims was an alchemist at the law of spirit energy level, indicating the severity and boldness of the recent attacks. Theo contemplated the recent deaths of 5 individuals within a span of 2 months, aligning with what Iris had previously mentioned. The boy shared that the disclosed information might not encompass all the details, hinting at the possibility of more incidents yet to be uncovered. Moreover, there were rumors circulating that the government's alchemists were planning to take action against the faceless killer. Theo contemplated the potential consequences of the government alchemists apprehending and eliminating the faceless killer. He realized that if they were to succeed and claim his pouch of abundance, it would hinder his chance of obtaining the Adumbra. Understanding the urgency of the situation, Theo felt compelled to resolve the matter definitively before it was too late. Theo, disguised as Baron, skillfully navigated the rooftops during his travels. He reflected on the value of his efforts, having spent 2 hours each day for 10 consecutive days on this endeavor. Witnessing the man pursue him relentlessly in such a ruthless manner reaffirmed the significance of his actions and the intensity of the situation. Meanwhile, Bruce, observing the scene, found the freehand sword technique utilized by Theo intriguing. The method involved adeptly managing 3 swords simultaneously, a feat that captured Bruce's interest as he had never encountered such a distinctive and complex combat style before. Bruce complimented Theo on his sword and shield, expressing concern that Theo may have squandered his spirit stones while wandering around the market. Theo teasingly offered his Dharma tools and spirit stones to Bruce, indicating a willingness to assist or collaborate in some capacity. In turn, Bruce implied that it was evident he desired Theo's Dharma tools and spirit stones, hinting that Theo should be aware of his intentions and methods based on his character. Theo remarked that Bruce would remember and pursue him relentlessly until the end, expressing surprise that 2 months had passed since their previous encounter. Bruce swiftly interrupted, suggesting they cease the pointless conversation. Theo pondered the distinction between a Dharma tool and a talisman, considering the faceless killer's potential wealth from stealing numerous pouches of abundance. Speculating on the killer's weaponry, he questioned if the twin wheels were the primary armament or if there was another concealed weapon. Theo acknowledged the necessity of caution in facing an opponent at the middle stage of the law of spirit energy while being at the second stage himself, emphasizing the need for careful strategy in combat. Bruce noted that despite Theo being at the beginning stage of the law of spirit energy, his combat prowess had not diminished, resembling that of a heavenly birth level practitioner. He recognized Theo's skill and the intensity of his attacks, acknowledging the proficiency displayed in their confrontation. Expressing concern for Theo's well-being, Bruce emphasized the risk Theo was undertaking in their battle. However, he asserted that regardless of Theo's efforts, they would be in vain unless they managed to make contact with him. In a decisive move, Bruce executed an attack from behind Theo, causing him to stumble and fall to the ground, knocking over a bottle in the process. Bruce picked up the fallen bottle and examined it before addressing Theo. He questioned Theo's seemingly reckless approach, remarking that had Theo been quicker, he could have utilized the bottle as a weapon. Bruce emphasized the importance of skill in the realm of alchemists, attributing any failures or shortcomings to a lack of proficiency rather than the tools at hand. He suggested that Theo's life might have been spared had he possessed the necessary expertise to capitalize on his resources effectively. Bruce was taken aback as smoke began to emanate from the bottle Theo had dropped. Theo revealed that it contained lesser devil poison, indicating that he had not wasted his spirit stones carelessly. He called out Bruce's cautious nature of concealing his actions and the troubling enjoyment he found in taking lives, suggesting that these behaviors had ultimately worked against him in this instance. Bruce, weakened and lying on the ground, struggled to speak. He offered to disclose the location of his hidden treasures in exchange for sparing his life. However, Theo remained skeptical, recollecting the advice from his masters never to trust a dying thief's promise to reveal their treasure. Moreover, his masters had cautioned against assuming the existence of hidden treasures, emphasizing the futility of pursuing such uncertain possibilities. Theo acknowledged the potency of the lesser devil poison, recognizing its dangerous nature. Despite some of the poison remaining, he decided to refrain from using it on individuals if avoidable. With a sense of responsibility, Theo expressed his intention to return and assess the spoils he had acquired. Theo expressed disappointment upon inspecting the spoils, finding only a meager collection of spirit stones and a lack of talismans. He noted that aside from the twin wheels, the rest of the items were inferior to high-class Dharma tools. Theo considered the underwhelming nature of the loot in contrast to the reputation, leading him to question if the faceless killer had concealed his true treasures elsewhere. Theo stumbled upon an unexpected discovery as he found a treasure jade amidst the loot. Intrigued by this new find, he pondered the idea of infusing it with his spiritual energy to unlock its potential. However, to his surprise, the jade absorbed all of his spiritual energy, leaving him bewildered by its capabilities. Struggling to comprehend the extent of the jade's absorption, Theo realized that it was indeed an extraordinary item. Despite its apparent significance, he found himself at a loss regarding its proper utilization, highlighting his uncertainty and lack of knowledge on how to harness the jade's powers effectively. Theo contemplated the jade's reaction to receiving spiritual energy, considering the possibility that only a strong spiritual energy source could activate it. He mused on the idea that perhaps the faceless killer resorted to committing murders due to a lack of concealment for his treasure, instead investing everything into an item like the jade. This speculation led Theo to question if the jade's unique properties and its demand for potent spiritual energy played a role in the killer's actions. Theo made a decisive decision in his mind, opting to infuse 40 high-class spirit stones into the treasure jade. Witnessing the jade's voracious absorption of spiritual energy, he realized the significant investment required for its activation. Despite depleting most of his spirit stones in the process, Theo remained determined to uncover the true power held within the treasure jade. With unwavering resolve, Theo expressed his commitment to unraveling the mysteries of the treasure jade, vowing to spare no expense in his pursuit of knowledge. This time, he resolved to utilize the 4 highest-grade spirit stones, emphasizing his determination to unlock the full potential of the enigmatic artifact at all costs. Theo, feeling disheartened by the lack of response from the treasure jade despite infusing a significant amount of spirit stones, decided to abandon further attempts with the mysterious artifact. Recognizing the need to shift his focus, he resolved to craft energy pills for Yona instead. Planning to create a potent rainbow pill for Yona, Theo aimed to provide a substantial boost to her level and well-being. With this new project in mind, he anticipated a busy period ahead, preparing to dedicate his efforts towards supporting Yona's vitality and progress. Theo completed the creation of the pills, satisfied with his work. Reflecting on the process, he felt relieved that he could now conclude Yona's treatment, which had been progressing slowly. Calling out to Yona, Theo noticed her absence and speculated that she might have gone out. Despite her not feeling well, Theo found solace in the idea that she was exploring the vast and opulent Huijing, contrasting with her confined life in the Iron Sphere sect. Just as he began to contemplate the potential benefits of Yona's newfound freedom, his thoughts were interrupted. Theo observed the bustling activity around him, noting the increased number of people present. A boy servant expressed surprise at Theo's appearance, indicating that he had been absent for a month. Curious about the sudden influx of customers, Theo inquired about the reason behind the elevated traffic. The boy, preoccupied with his duties, apologized for his busyness and suggested escorting Theo to his seat before providing further information. Theo agreed to be escorted to his seat first. Seated on a chair, Theo politely sought attention from the busy surroundings. A frustrated bald man expressed his exasperation at the large crowd, attributing the influx of alchemists in Huijing to their interest in the rift. Theo pondered the lack of response to his presence, speculating on the high proficiency of the gathered alchemists, wondering if all of them were at the heavenly birth level. One man reflected on the significant changes over the past 30 years, noting the remarkable transformation in their powers and status from mere survivors to respected masters. Their enhanced abilities had elevated them to a level of esteem and expertise beyond ordinary individuals. Contrastingly, another man challenged the notion of mastery, suggesting that there was still a long journey ahead. Despite their skills, he expressed doubts about their capability to reach the center of the lake within the rift. Rumors circulated about precious treasures concealed inside, yet even alchemists at the law of spirit energy level were purportedly hesitant to approach the coveted center, hinting at the mysterious and formidable nature of the rift's inner sanctum. The bald man expressed frustration, emphasizing the importance of venturing into the rift to acquire sacred herbs and advance to the law of spirit energy level. He believed that this feat could lead to promotion within their ranks. He envisioned the possibility of reaching the lake in the rift within the next few decades, aiming for significant progression in their alchemical journey. In contrast, Another man considered the idea of all the pledged brothers achieving promotion to the law of spirit energy level and taking pride in this shared accomplishment. However, a different perspective was presented by another man who advised against fostering unrealistic dreams, urging a focus on diligent preparation for the rigorous challenges posed by the highly competitive rift. Theo pondered the nature of the rift, likening it to a concentrated spirit land and noting its regular occurrence near Huijing. However, his thoughts were interrupted as the men fell silent, drawing his attention to their sudden change in behavior. Theo became curious about the reason behind their shift in focus. Observing the men's gaze fixed on beautiful Yona, Theo called out to Yona, who remarked on the passage of time since they last met. Theo agreed, suggesting they continue their conversation as they walked towards her room. Noticing Yona's haircut, he expressed surprise at the change. Yona sought Theo's opinion on her new hairstyle, inquiring if he thought it suited her. Theo reassured her, affirming that it indeed looked good on her. However, he pointed out that the combination of her short hair and face cover seemed to be attracting attention from those around them. Yona expressed her contentment with her new haircut, mentioning that she found it comfortable and had decided to cut it off because it had been bothering her. Theo reassured her that her comfort was what mattered most, emphasizing that he did not mean to imply that her long hair was superior. Acknowledging Theo's considerate nature, Yona appreciated that he was not one to dictate what others should do. She shared that she had faced inner turmoil for some time but found solace and composure after cutting her hair. Determined to overcome her struggles and move forward, she recognized the importance of focusing on her training and eventually returning to Yangzhou. Theo observed Yona's nonchalant demeanor but recognized her underlying resolve for revenge. As expected, advising her to prioritize recovery before training, Theo handed her a Dan pill known for its efficacy in healing internal wounds. Surprised by Theo's gesture, Yona questioned the pill's purpose. Theo explained its benefits and urged her to take it for her well-being. Grateful for his support, Yona expressed gratitude, acknowledging the assistance despite feeling like a burden. Theo noticed that it had been some time since Yona recirculated her spiritual energy, leading to her breathlessness. Concerned about a potential clash if he were to infuse his own spiritual energy, he was unable to assess her condition clearly. Yona inquired about the type of Dan pill she had been given, prompting Theo to reveal that it was the rainbow pill. Yona expressed surprise at hearing about the rainbow pill for the first time, prompting Theo to realize that it was indeed an esoteric Dan pill that few were familiar with, as it had been shared with him by the first master. Leo explained that the rainbow pill was crafted from readily available sacred herbs and was particularly effective in treating internal wounds. Theo reflected on the effort put into creating the pill to meet the exacting standards set by the master, emphasizing its significance and utility in addressing internal injuries. Theo revealed that he knew the recipe to make the rainbow pill, surprising Yona. She expressed her feelings of idleness while Theo had been diligently working, acknowledging the value of the precious sacred herbs used in crafting the Dan pill. In gratitude for saving his life in the forest of fine beauty, Theo pledged to repay Yona for her kindness. Touched by his humility and determination to reciprocate her actions, Yona acknowledged Theo's sincerity and commitment to their bond. Yona offered something to Theo, who hesitated to accept it. She emphasized the significant cost of acquiring the sacred herbs needed for the Dan pill, believing that her gift did not equate to the effort Theo had invested. Feeling uneasy if she did not give him something in return, Yona insisted that Theo accept her gesture. However, Theo proposed that she use the gift to purchase a Dharma tool of her choice instead, promising to receive the spirit stones at a later time. Recognizing Yona's need for Dharma tools suitable for her level, Theo encouraged her to prioritize acquiring items that would enhance her abilities and aid in her training. Theo remarked that the alchemists from Daewon Nation generally possessed superior skills compared to those from Jianyang Nation. He acknowledged Yona's level of proficiency, noting that in Daewon Nation, she could be acclaimed as a master but emphasized the necessity of having appropriate Dharma tools to complement her abilities. Yona mentioned that she had heard the rift would take place outside of Huijing, where they could gather precious sacred herbs and spirit stones. She expressed her intention to cover the cost of the sacred herbs after the rift event. Theo realized that Yona was contemplating participating in the rift, just like many others. Theo curious about the nature of the rift. Yona explained that every half of a sexagenary cycle, equivalent to 30 years, a powerful wind sweeps through Huijing. Legend has it that locating the spot where the wind is the strongest can transport individuals into another dimension, with this location known as the rift. Intrigued by this information, Theo focused on the concept of the wind's intensity and its correlation to the entrance of the rift. Yona elaborated that within the rift, one could find rare sacred herbs, spirit stones, and a multitude of fiends residing there. Consequently, alchemists from distant regions would converge on Huijing every 30 years to endeavor to enter the rift and explore its treasures. Theo found this information intriguing, drawing parallels between the rift and the concentrated spirit land. He questioned if there was an overseeing organization managing the rift. Yona indicated that there was no such association, explaining that this lack of regulation fueled alchemists' fervor for the rift. Unlike the concentrated spirit land, entering the rift was comparatively easier. Theo expressed his willingness to accompany Yona to the rift if she decided to go, acknowledging the potential risks associated with the unregulated nature of that mystical place. While the government maintained order in Huijing to prevent crimes, the rift was known for its unpredictability and the possibility of unforeseen events. Yona shared her concerns about encountering law of spirit energy alchemists in Huijing, indicating her unease. However, she found reassurance in the idea of Theo joining her on this journey. Theo contemplated having some free time before the rift event commenced, planning to attend to various matters beforehand. Prioritizing his tasks, he decided to address a specific issue first. Upon encountering Iris, she acknowledged Theo's return to her vicinity, sparking interest in their interaction.